Hello everyone. Of course, we still have to talk about art and silver because we have reached new highs a lot. It's not surprising that gold and silver are performing like this because the US dollar is losing ground, even though I told you about the support that broke almost there. Right now, we find ourselves in a very unfavorable situation concerning the US dollar. It's possibly a loss of confidence in currencies. So the fact that several countries, I heard that China is continuing to sell US Treasury bonds, and also India has started to sell Treasury bonds. So we find ourselves in a precarious situation for the United States. The UR is currently at 5 this morning. I thought we would see a rise. I was expecting 5,000, but it's going fast. That's why. I don't know. It's going very fast. Silver is at $112. Gold is at $5,270, and US dollars at 95, as I told you. Bitcoin, well, it's still stuck in place at 89,000. As I said, you have to be in the right place at the right time. And I think that when it comes to Bitcoin, at least for a while, you shouldn't be there. Then you'll say, easy for you. You don't own any Bitcoin. I understand, but I've never had much faith in Bitcoin, but even less so now. But when it comes to gold and silver, the rise isn't over. And that's the good news, let's say. It was expected already. We're starting to have forecasters who are reasonable, who say that we could reach $6,000. The Bank of America is starting to predict $6,000. So it could go beyond that. There's no problem with that. It's simply that the perception of gold and silver at the moment is very positive everywhere. And it's certain that the other indices continue to rise. The stat P reached 5,000. On the futures, we're at 5,000. It continues to rise everywhere, where there's euphoria in the air. So we expect a drop in interest rates in the United States because Trump, basically, he who called Jerome Powell an idiot, really wants a drop in interest rates. What I would like to look at today, well, it's certain that silver, if you have bought in the past, silver bars for the poor, silver bars like me, it's certain that I think I have tripled my investment. So that's it. It's 3 times the price of what I paid. Even I had paid a premium for 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. Those are my last purchases. Yeah. I have tripled my assets there. So for now, it's not for sale. I have no idea where the money is going to end up, but as you know, there are 2 situations regarding money. There is a shortage of silver, and of course the fact that it is an industrial metal changes the situation. And right now we really have a focus on silver. It's at the silver ratio level. Maybe we could look at this. I don't know if I have it here, but the ratio is maybe at that. I don't know if I had it saved in TradingView. In any case, it doesn't matter. It's maybe at 50-40 there, the ratio. So we find ourselves in a situation where silver is really starting to gain momentum. And if we reached, as I told you, I wrote an article about it, if we simply reached a ratio of 1 tons, let's say 120, but let's something crazy, we would reach 110. Well, it's not complicated. It's $5,000. It's $500. They're 110, the ratio. Therefore, in terms of money, and in these times of euphoria, well, the ratio falls to these levels. Well, maybe not 110, but 120. So at the moment, let's say we have a ratio of 1 in 20, which could happen very, very quickly, and perhaps in 2026, 27, we'll see there no matter where. Well, we could have a ratio of 1 in 20, which would give, let's say for $10,000, well, it's $500. So that would be reasonable. And then gold, as James Rickard has been saying for years, will easily reach $10,000. We say in 2030. I have no idea when that will be reached. But there is another factor in this, which happens to be dollarization. We can't make it fall on a global level. There is utopian to say that the American dollar will fall, but there will be very, very significant measures that will be taken by the American government due to, that the dollar is in a really precarious situation. So we're talking about a new Bretton Woods. You know what happened in 1944 after the Second World War? The Americans had the largest gold reserves in the world, 8,000 tons. Ocon. That hasn't changed much, maybe a little bit. So they were the masters of the game. They were the ones who set the rules of the game. After the Second World War, and since then it's been the American dollar. As you know, the story which has been repeated for a long time. The gold price was fixed at 35 American dollars. But now we are after 71 Nixon untied that. But we are in new paradigms. And the American dollar, as I told you, look here, you can see it behind me. There, it's on a weekly chart. The breakout happened down there, and the situation doesn't seem to be reversing. So we are in a rather precarious situation. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about regarding the US dollar. So gold and silver, that's it. They're continuing to rise. It's a bit euphoric. Euphoria is a bit scary because when you're euphoric like that, maybe I'll put it in monthly mode. Well, gold like that. When you're euphoric like that, let's say, it's scary to take a profit and say we're gonna wait for it to correct. It's high. I'm telling you, it's going up fast. Silver is also going up very fast. The 50, but for me, it's certain. My strategy, even if there's a correction soon, as I said, probably in March, maybe mid-February, March, a correction. For me, it won't be a time to say I'm giving up on this game altogether. On the contrary, it may be about taking other positions. I may throw another ingots. I don't know. I'll see. But it's true that it's rising quickly there. So if we had a healthy correction there, because the rise is sudden there, well, that wouldn't be bad. So Bitcoin, as I said, is still in a precarious situation. The rest of the indices are continuing to rise, but basically, look at the Nasdaq was on the verge of breaking its old peak. So Standard Power reached 5,000 points today, that's for sure. Yeah, today or tomorrow. In any case, we know that it's going up. There's no threat there in the short term. On the other hand, we'll see what happens because, as I said, seasonality is important, and in the months of May or March, excuse me, we usually have a trough there, but then it can continue until the month of July when the rise there. So let's see. Then what I wanted to talk to you about, well, these are two mini ones. I'm gonna show you this on a weekly chart. As I said, I'm not a financial advisor. I tell no one to buy this, buy that. I have no interest in telling you to buy anything. So I'm giving you a warning right away. I don't advise anyone to buy what I bought at all. That being said, I'm going to show you a small mining company that has really prospered in a crazy way. You probably know Eric Sprott. Sprott happens to be an investor in mining companies for years. I haven't known him personally for years, but I know who he is. When he invests in mining companies, he looks at the technical level, especially the fundamental level. And there's a mining company here called CRF, Mining Holding Corporation. Maybe you followed what happened. There was a channel there between once wouldn't it here a split happened. Anyway, it doesn't matter there. Yeah, a 10 split, 4 whatever there. Doesn't matter. Yeah, maybe for those who bought, it wasn't fun there, maybe. But in any case, no matter what happened, if you were those who managed to buy this this little mining there between two and the channel between $2 and $4. It had been moving like that for quite a long time. And then what happened? Well, we had a breakout of the channel. As I said, we entered stage one. That's stage one. And here we had stage two with volume. It's Dan One's theory with volume. So those who got in here, the lucky ones who got in at the buying point with a lot of volume, well, there was a pretty meteoric rise. So when you're in stage two, phase two, as we call it, you don't give up. You don't let go until it happens. And then it started to go up. It was $3, $4, $5, $7. I just spotted it there, yet I didn't enter. Now let me explain why Eric Sprott, who, as it happens, is one of the major investors, or at least holds a significant number of shares in this venture, found that the stock price skyrocketed at the current moment. It has reached $55. You went from, let's say, months you would have entered here, $359 to $55. Okay, here I don't want to. I repeat again because I don't. I repeat again because I don't want anyone to say I bought this, then I sold it too quickly. No, you make your own choices. It's in. I talked about it on my website. It's a small action called Newfoundland Gold, which happens to be. Well, look what I'm going to do better than that. I'm going to introduce the company to you, and then you can do whatever you want with it. Here's the information. But Eric Sprott has 61 million shares in there. It's a project that happens to be admitted in French, which happens to be in Theroux. Here, I will adjust it. It won't be long. French. Okay, it's a project that happens to be, it's his new land. And it's all this land there that mine owns. And then the advantage it has is that it's certain that Newfoundland there, they want to have wealth that is created there. We often say Terre-Neuve, Labrador there. So these are the lands that are not owned by the mini. It's a junior. But what happens with... I'm not promoting you, but I'll read you what is said about it. Well, they did some drilling and a very, very interesting concentration of gold. And then I think that there was a mine that had already been exploited. It's the one here, exploited in the middle. And then now with the price of gold going up, it becomes interesting to exploit this mine again. So that's why we started to put the infrastructure back in place, because there was already existing infrastructure. There we can speculate, say anything. That's not my goal here. There are some who will say, there's too much action. That's not my goal. It's simply to present it to you. I bought shares for that because production starts this year, 2027. This year is the implementation of all the, I think the crusher was so already there. There are a lot of things that were already there. So we're going into production, and that's because it's a junior right now. There's an interesting price, but it could conditionally, it could probably in any case go up. We don't know where it could go up, but that's what I'm simply doing. Well, we're gonna leave the site here. This is the presentation. You can simply go to Newfoundland Gold. And then, as I told you, the advantage of this mining company is that it's listed in New York. So under the acronym NFGC, or Newfoundland Gold. But the fact that it's on the New York Stock Exchange, it's very, very interesting. It's not sure if it's not listed. The OTF is listed in a way where it can be seen there, so investors can see this action, since it's listed in New York and in Vancouver, also in Canada in Vancouver. So that's simply what I wanted to tell. And technically, it's a super nice stage one. has passed B. It's a stage 1 that was going down. We're technically in stage 2 with a lot of volume. Then that's what gives me an indication that when the action started to enter, there was a capitulation here and there. We entered the market in a very, very significant way. I have no idea where it's going to lead, but it's an interesting adventure because I'm making a bit of an analogy with this mining company and their CR Mining Holding. And then it's starting to explode with volume. Well, then we had a movement there that was that what, and then maybe didn't finish its movement, but that was interesting. So that's simply what I wanted to share with you. And as I said, this is not investment advice, but people often try to multiply the fact that there is a craze in gold and silver at the moment. Well, these are small mining companies like that. There are others out there. It's not the only one, but small mining companies can actually be an amplifying effect of the rise in gold. So that's what I wanted to present to you today. And it's certain that in terms of gold and silver, I don't know how far it will go. I'm a little impressed to see the rise so quickly. I'm saying it scares me. It doesn't scare me in the long term, as I said, but now there could be a correction, profit taking. Look, silver 114, but in any case, we'll follow this. That's simply what I wanted to talk to you about today. So that was my video on gold and silver, of course, and on this mining company. So we'll see you very soon for new videos.